Okay, I believe you can hear me. Maybe, maybe not. Let me see. Do a mic check. So this is just gonna be a review on vectors and StreamWriting. Somebody in the Discord, Reg, I forget the rest of the username, but Reg had wanted me to kind of go over the StreamWriting, stream reading a little bit more. And you know what? Again, Reg, since I started the StreamWriting and stream reading, I went through the process that it takes to understand it, to get it down, to make it work, and then I didn't. So usually what I do is I'll stop this. There we go. All right. So usually what I do is I'll learn a skill, and then I'll, through repetition, just do it over and over until I've really got it. Now, as I'm getting into like the higher level programming concepts, I'm finding that it's not as exciting to do it over and over, because like when you're doing something with a function, or if you're making a function, making a new function or something like that, you can do it once you learn it. You can do it over and over. It might take you 15 seconds to do it over and over and over, 15 seconds each. But when you get into like the StreamWriting, stream reading, those kind of things, with all the different parameters and all the different inputs and everything that you can have, it can take you 20 minutes or 10 minutes to go through everything, and then go through everything, and then go through everything. So again, I know that repetition is going to be the key to learning and to success there. But you know, there's that barrier, there's that little bit of friction is the time. So I appreciate you for asking me to kind of go over it, because this gives me another opportunity to go over it, and hopefully it helps you, but I know it'll help me. So I've got a little bit of music on. It can be a little bit distracting, but that's what I do when I program. So all this data here, we know that today is Easter. Happy Easter for all you guys that celebrate. So today is March 31st, and the data that I have up on the screen now, this is not historical data. This is only live data. So again, this is data that I was able to stream right to a text file, and the computer stream reads it from the file, and then it populates the data back on my screen. So throughout the course of the weekend, and I also took some screenshots of this to kind of play with it, what's going on. But I've been able to continue to study the market, using my X-ray vision. Right? So, all right, so we're just going to make, and we're not even going to use this. I'm going to make a simple, let's see, this is my algo. I don't even know what algo is on here. 5 minute. I don't think that this was a good one. Get out of there. All right, let's turn that off. I'm going to turn a bunch of stuff off here. You know what? Got another desktop open. I'm going to close that one. Actually, I'm going to close all this. I'm going to close this one too. Because when I refresh and do that kind of stuff, I want to have the least amount of processing to be done. All right, so we'll use ESM24. No, we won't. We'll use @ES. Because again, when you're trading futures, you have to use a specific contracts, and they are indicated by the letters prior to or after ES. Then there's a letter, then there's 24 for the year. So @ES is just going to be able to give us data for the entire spectrum of the future. All right, I'm going to do this on a 5 minute time frame. Now we're going to open up the coding, the development environment. I haven't even checked yet that The mic is working, so I hope it is. If it's not, that could be a problem. All right, so I'm gonna fumble through this a little bit. Promise you I'm gonna fumble through this a lot probably. I haven't really done much programming in the last week and a half or so. We've been on vacation here. So let's open up a new, let's do an indicator. We're gonna call this swing low in vector. And I'll probably end up deleting this. This is just gonna be something that I just kind of put together. And let's see. Come on. You know what? Okay, yes, I do hear something. Usually it seems like it's a little bit louder, but this is fine. All right, so this will be, and I'm trying to get a lot better about making sure that I name what I'm doing and having some type of systemization so that I can come back to it, reference it, review it, make modifications. If I do modifications, make it as a version, and then all that kind of stuff. Because again, guys, when you start writing a lot of codes and scripts and stuff, and you start having multiple programs, all these programs, you're gonna hope that you now some of them are TradeStation programs, but all these ones that have the exclamation mark in front of it, all those are mine. All right, so all of my programs have an exclamation mark in front of it. Now there are a couple in here where if you go into like the TradeStation forums, you go to TradeStation.com and then you go to, I think it's support, and then you go to community and something like that. There's a TradeStation forum that has folks who are senior programmers, and they will. Some of them are from TradeStation, so they'll actually pretty much answer all your questions because they're paid. It looks like. But then there's other folks. Myself, I get on there sometimes and answer questions. I know Tom47 gets on there. Kevin Davey, he gets on there. So there's a lot of senior programmers. I'm not one of them, but there's a lot of senior programmers that get on there and answer questions to make sure that you're successful with your coding as well. All right, so some of these tutorials I got from there, and so from the tutorials, I'm able to extrapolate the information that I need, the syntax that I need in order to make what I want to work. And then again, like I said, another good source is Markplex. Markplex, he has a YouTube channel. Yeah, this is very useful as well. He helped me with the StreamWriting, stream reading part. Okay, so let's go ahead and this is just going to be making a vector with swing loads and writer. All right. Now I forget all the namespaces I'll need, so like I said, I'm just going to kind of fumble my way through it. But for right now, let's just get started. All right, so we're going to do system, and I don't think I need a specific namespace to do a vector, but I may need collections to do a vector because a vector is a type of collection, so it's a dictionary. So let's see, and then for the stream reader and stream writer, using EL system dot, I think it's, is it IO? No. I'm gonna have to look at that one. Like I say, it's okay to use a reference. It is okay to use a reference. And then also some of the references that you'll find, I'll show you in just a second, but IO collections, TSData, common, market data. I'm not exactly sure which one I need for the stream writing, but I think it's, yeah, it might be IO. Not sure about the comment or the market data, but I thought it was IO. Okay, we're going to declare a variable. We're going to call it, and just to help you keep everything in line, what I found is helpful is, like, if you're making a vector, when you name a variable, put a V in front of it, or write out vector, whatever. But when you get further down, if you have it in a lot of variables and that kind of thing, maybe you have some constants instead of variables, you want to know that the variable that you wrote out, swing low, is actually a vector swing low and not the actual value swing low. So for me, I'll do variable swing low, and let's see, vector swing low. However, okay, so once we always need to say that we need to open the vector. We need to initialize the vector, if you will. So I only want to do that one time. I found some mistakes in programs before where I did not put once there, and so for every tick, this was like an inch bar persist type indicator or a strategy, and so every tick it would make a new vector essentially. So you don't want to do that. You just want to do it once. So once, V swing low, and you can do it a couple ways. You can do new vector, or you can do, I think you can do vector.create. You might just be able to do that. And then so I hit F3, and then F3 will verify it, right? Verified. All right, so it's verified. So now we do have the vector created. So now what we want to do is we want to find the swing lows. So we're going to do a couple things here. So one, I'm just going to kind of mark them out so you can see essentially where they will be, and then we'll identify how we're going to record them into the vector. All right, so essentially we're looking for something like this, right? So something like this, something that's got a number of values on one side or the other. I mean, these have a lot, right? So we're just going to look for a swing low with how many bars? Draw a line. Boom, we'll draw it halfway. That line, you click on it, it'll tell you how many bars it is. Bar count is 128. Yeah, so we'll just say 100 bars on either side. All right, so now we need another variable that's going to be. Now I've tried to do this a couple ways. I've tried to do this where I pretty much write the program. I've seen somebody else do it similarly, where they write the program and then they'll go back and they'll declare all the variables. I don't like that. So one of the things I found that I do like to do is, as I'm making new functions or making new groupings of my script, I'll just write variable right above it, and then as soon as I put my stuff in there, then I'll just copy that and then bring it up here to the rest of it to make it look clean. So it will look something like this. So I just do variable, and then it's going to be swing low. We'll call it swing low P. Swing low P, which is going to be the swing low point, and it's going to be a number. So we'll just initialize it with 0, and we'll say now there is a function of TradeStation that's called swing low, and you'll put in there the instance. Is it the first one, the second one from the current bar? Is it the first one back, second one back, third one back, that kind of thing? So we're going to say the first one back. We're going to say the low, the price is going to be the low. So it's going to be 1 low, 100 bars, and the length has to be at least the length of the strength. So it's got to be one more, right? So it's got to at least be 101. So go 1 low, 100. 101. Okay, then that's going to give us a number, but we got to assign it to something. Let's assign it to the swing low P. Equals that. All right, so now swing low P is going to equal the, and actually this is going to be the value. This is going to be the value of the swing low. It's not going to be the number of bars back it is or anything like that. It's just going to be the value. So now a couple things are going to happen here is you cannot define a swing low using this definition. You cannot define a swing low until that number, that strength has been met, right? So if you're trying to find a swing low that has 100 bars on this side and 100 bars on this side, well, you can't declare it as being a swing low until you've got these 100 over here, right? So you're not going to find that you have a swing low until you're not going to find it at the first bar, second bar, third, fourth, fifth, 97, 98, 99. You get to 100, 101, now you'll get your swing low. And so when you see it pop up on the screen, it's going to pop up 100 bars later, right? So we're going to do a couple things here. Like I said, I don't know if I'm making it more complicated or if I'm just making it comprehensive, which just gives you an idea of what the gambit of programming is, right? So here we go. All right, so swing low P. When we get that, we're going to plot one. Swing low P. Now, if you don't find any swing low here, then this is going to be 1. So we don't want that. So if swing low P is greater than 0, which means we have a swing low and swing low and low P, and it's not -1, which means that you don't have anything. Which technically, if it's a greater than 0, it's not -1. And swing low P is different than the bar before it. Swing low P, a bar ago. Okay, and again, hopefully you're familiar enough with the syntax of TradeStation that you'll know that to use brackets here means that you're referencing one bar into the history. All right, so if all those things are true, then we're going to do what? Then we're going to plot. And we're going to plot what? We're going to plot swing low P. All right. Well, it's not a period because this is not a story. This is not a story. It's not a story time. All right, let's go back here, and then we're going to what's it called? Swing low in vector. All right, you know this isn't supposed to be down here. Come on, man. What are you doing? All right, so we're going to put it up there. This guy is not a histogram. It's going to be a cross. Let's make it a little bit larger. All right, so here's your cross right here. All right, so we said what? 100 bars, 100 bars. This has 100 bars on the left side. This has 100 bars on the right side. So now we have a plus here. We technically want this plus to be right here. So there's a way to do that. We'll do that here. All right, so same here. This is a swing low, which has 100 bars on the left, 100 bars on the right. So now at the 100 bar mark, we have the plus there. So now what we can do is we can draw an object. Like I said, this is what makes it a little bit more complicated. We'll draw an object that actually moves something to right here. And we'll just, I don't know if we'll move a word right there. I've put an ellipse there before. Ooh, I can make it super complicated. Man, it will take me forever to get through this thing. All right, yeah, it will. So maybe we'll do a part 1 and part 2. So for now, let's go ahead and move this. We'll move some object to this location here. But again, when you're in live trading, you want know that this is confirmed until you get to here. Even though in my program I'm about to make an arrow show up right here, you don't know that this is confirmed. You won't get the arrow until you get 100 bars down. All right, so let's do. So in order to draw an object, we could do a label. I'm thinking about doing a label and using the font class. Using the font class and making it into an arrow. I want to do it both ways. I'm a glutton for punishment. I am. All right, so Jesus, I used to do a lot with objects. Now I haven't done anything in a while. Using EL system drawing. Using EL system drawing objects. Okay, so now we have a couple options with our drawing objects. We can do a rectangle, a line, an ellipse. Of course, we can do the text. I think the text label. I think it's a text label. So we're gonna go back up here, and then we're gonna say I'm gonna make this low label because it's gonna be the swing low. It'll be a label. So this will be text label. You see, it's already coming up there. Low label is what I'm gonna call it. Initializes null. It's not a true false boolean string, anything like that. But it's an object, so it's got to be initialized as null. Such as vector as collection, it's got to be initialized as null. It's an object as well. All right, so we'll come right down here, and then for low label, let's see. Okay. Let's first create it. So we're gonna say low label is equal to what? You know how I told you last time? You can do create dot or text label dot create. All right, you got 7 options here. Now, recently, within the last couple of weeks, I learned that once you see this pop up here, you can right click it. Or left click it, or you can just hit the arrow button up and down, and it'll give you an option of what you can put in there. So you could just close the parentheses and then go on about your business, or you can put in here, you see, bar number point value, and then the string or DT point value, is the datetime point value, and then your string, or you can do a location on the chart on that XY, using XY grid, string text data number. Oh, that's if you're doing something with a different data stream. All right. Okay. All right. Like I said, this is bringing back some memories. Let's see here. Okay, bar number. So when we get here, I think this is the 101st bar. So we need to reference back 100 bars, right? Okay, so if all this is true, then instead of doing one thing, we're going to begin. We're going to begin, and we're going to allow it to do a bunch of things. So if one is, it's going to still plot that. That's fine. But then also, it's going to create this label. It's going to create it where? It's going to create it 100 bars ago. So Now, one thing that has gotten me twisted up a lot of the time is addition and subtraction with date time points, right? Because I think there's a date time class that you can use where you can add and subtract from the current date time. But you can also use the bar. You can use the bar number, the BN point. What is the BN point? BN point create the bar number price. So we'll see if we can do current bar minus the bar number minus 100 bars. So what do we need for what do we just need for the bar number? We needed the and this is always at your always at your disposal, right? So the endpoint that. So for your bar number creation, you're gonna have the number of bars back, and then what is the second one? Price. Bar number, so 100. So the current bar minus 100 bars ago, and then we're gonna do the price of the low. And again, this is just where we're putting the label at. We already have the swing low identified here. Okay. So we have the text label. All right, so for the text label creation, we need the bar number point and we need what we want it to say. So we're going to say, now this has to be a string. When it's in a string, it's in parentheses, quotations like that. We're going to call it swing low and see if we can. All right, then we're going to end this. Got a feeling this is not everything that we need, but let's see. Oh, it didn't do it. Now I am curious if it popped up anywhere else. Swing low, no. What is it? I know for the other objects, once you create these labels here, once you create this this object, you have to then go and add drawing objects dot add drawing objects dot add, and then you put in what you're adding. You're putting in the name of the object, which is low label. Like I said, this is creating it. And once it's created, nothing is done with it. You then have to add it to the actual chart. So now we hit verify on that, and it came up here. But that's not right. You know what? Oh, and that's why I'm glad that the programming and everything has come so far along, because I'm able to spot it right away. It took me days. It took me at least a day, days to figure this out before. So what's happening here is you see that at this 100th bar right here, we have a move. I'm thinking there's a problem anyway. This 100th bar we have right there. There's a line, right? So this swing low is actually being recorded at this level. I don't know about the other one, because the other one seems like it is just, they're all at that level. They're all at the same, no, they're not at the same level. Where did this one? All right. I would expect for this one to be right here too, because see what happens is the low here should be referencing the low of 100 bars ago, not the current low. So once you find this swing, once the swing low is defined because you're 100 bars out, you're right here. You're at this bar. So you can't say that you want to plot this at the current low, you say you need to plot it at the low 100 bars ago. So that makes sense for this one. It doesn't make sense for this guy, because this guy should technically be right here. It should be over. It should be right in this vicinity right here. All right. And then this guy here. Yeah. You see how this one did? The swing low. Let me see. All right. I think we have a couple more things to do. I think we need to reference the max bars back. Oh. So 100 bars ago. Current bar must. That's why I said I didn't want to play with this. I said this is going to be end up making me go way off tangent, but it's okay, because again, I'm gonna learn something with every tangent that I go on. The current bar, I think we need to subtract max bars back, and then we can subtract 100, and then we're going to use the low of 100 bars ago. That is 100 bars, yep. So that swing low instead is giving me something like here. That swing low is only going back 73 bars. Now let's find out what the max bars back on this bad boy is. So we're gonna print max bars back. And you typically will a lot of times need to know what the max bars back setting is. All right, it's 201. So 201. And I want to do this with the bar number point. I don't want to do it with DT. Not now. Not because I started this. All right, so if this, then that, begin, swing low P, low label equals point dot create. It's going to be current bar minus max bars back now they're adding max current bar. I guess the current bar there is going to be, what they call it, like zero based. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right, there we go. Plus that minus 1. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Boom, right? So there they are. Swing low. Now we have this plotted at the swing low for every time we get a swing low. Okay, now I tell you why. Because You see how the 200 moving average here, 200 bar moving average, and it's a simple moving average. It's not the exponential. Not that it really matters. But see how that right there from there to there is 197. I mean, it's 200 bars, right? So on the 200 first bar, you start this this red simple moving average, right? So you need 200 bars worth of that data in order to have a 200 bar moving average. Makes sense. So what happens is the way that the program, and I don't understand it 100%. I'm not going to profess like I do, but the program doesn't really start counting these bars until it's right here, right? So you see all these bars here and you're like, man, yeah, there's like 200 bars there. Like when we're doing our program, that's 200 bars. This is a 201st. That's not really how they look at it. They don't even look at these bars when it comes to like looking at indicators and using the data and stuff. They don't even look at these bars. The first bar starts right here. This is the first bar, right? All these bars are nothing. This is the first bar. But when you're using some functions, when you're using the current bar and it's asking for the bar number, it's using I guess what they call like a zero base. Yeah. The absolute bar index, which means that it absolutely does start at 0. Whereas a lot of the other indicators and some of the programs start after the max bars back setting. So if I'm wanting to know what bar number this is based on the absolute 0 base, that's why I say it's not cheating to go and look at this stuff, because you have to know what the computer is looking for, what the program is looking for. So if I want to know what bar number this is, it might be bar number 80. But if you want to know what the 0 base absolute bar number is, it's 80 plus 200. 280, right? So let's say technically this bar here is 380 because we added an extra 100 to it. So this is bar number 380. So now when we're looking at whatever this bar number is in our program, we need to take that 380 minus 100, right? So that's how come we get the current bar, say it's 380, the current bar, which the computer thinks is 280, or I guess the computer thinks is 180, and then you're adding the max bars back, which is 200. So now you get to 380. And now because our strength of our swing low is 100, we have to subtract that 100 because we have to go from here to here. So we have to subtract that 100. That's why we add the max bars back setting. And then the minus 1, I think if you go back the full number, you end up at 0, and you can't technically be at a 0 bar. So you have to, because you were adding those bars, you have to then go back and subtract 1 bar, something like that. Okay. All right, so now we have the swing lows. Now, if we want to do one other thing, this is something that I learned in the last couple weeks as well, last couple months as well, is we would do, and I'm not that great with this one, but we're going to try it. We're going to do font, and then we're going to do arrow U, which is going to be arrow up. I think we can put that as null. or okay, so we're going to go ahead and declare what our font is going to be. We don't have to do that within this function here. That can be declared outside of the function. So we can say that it's just going to happen one time. Arrow u equals font.create. All right, so the name and the size, style, name, size, style, graphics. I didn't know we had a graphics. All right, so name and the size. Font name. I think this is called TradeStation. It's a font name within your computer, and when you install TradeStation on your computer, you get a TradeStation font. So font name is TradeStation, and then we're going to say the size is that. Let me verify that. No errors. Okay. All right. And instead of this being swing low, let's see how we're going to do this, because we need to use the font. And it's got to be A. So the letter A equates the English letter A translates to an up arrow in TradeStation. Something like that. So we need to be saying we want this to be letter A. Okay? And it's a capital A at that. Okay, and then now we need to say that for our label, we've already initialized the label here. We've created the label here. We've said what bar number we want it at. We've said what it's going to read. Now we need to say, instead of it reading in normal, instead of it reading in English, my computer's set up in English. Instead of it reading the English language letter A, I want it to read in this font style we created here, right? So if I verify that, first we get the letter A here. But now if we go and we say low label, I forget how we do this, dot fonts, yep. And I think we do that. No, or maybe equals arrow u. Maybe. That was it. The boy is getting good. I mean, talk about diamond hands. All right, getting good. All right, so you see we got arrows there, right? And I think, you can change the color on that too. So you're just going to go to low label dot color, and then red. You might have to do color dot red. Color dot red. See, it's red there. All right, we're gonna do color dot blue. Okay, so now we have blue arrows every time we have a swing low with 100 bars on either side. Like I said, I'm already 44 minutes into this now. I've been narrating and everything along the way, but even without me narrating, it might take me a quarter of the time, half the time, quarter of the time, but still, like just writing all this code, it may have taken me less, but still, like I said, this is not something that you want to do over and over and over. Usually what you want to do is end up taking what you have from another program and just kind of copy and paste it. Once you get it, once you understand it, and once you know where to go to find the references to replicate it, then you're good. But until you know that, you probably do want to go over it a couple times till you get that repetition. All right, so we don't need max bars back anymore, but let's go here. So we're gonna delete max bars back. All right, so now, and all this was just a visual, so we can actually comment that out. So now we lose the plus there, and so now we have the arrows. Okay, so now what we want to do is we just want to store to a vector the values here, the values of these swing lows, and a vector. So you have a couple ways to store things. You got a dictionary where you have a key, and then that key unlocks what's in the dictionary. So you need to figure out what you want to put in there, but it can take a lot of different things. And then you have a vector, which is essentially, it's a collection, but it's a stack of, and I think there's actually one called a stack. Yeah, there's a stack. Let's look at the definitions real quick. But a vector is similar to a stack, whereas they just add to the tops of the collection. All right, so the stack allows you to create a collection of data elements. It says on a last in, first out basis. Element is added to the top of the stack collection using push. Element is to be added. All right, and then the vector. Vector allows you to create a collection of data elements referenced by an index, zero base. Data elements may be inserted, read, and deleted from anywhere within the collection. So technically, a stack might work okay. Peek returns what's at the top. Removes, push, return an object at the top of the stack. Create. So it looks like with a stack you can only. So it looks like a stack and a vector are essentially the same. A vector is a glorified stack, whereas a stack is just boom, 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 boom. Now you can delete what's at the top, or you can, let's see, remove and return the object at the top of the stack. Looks like you can delete what's at the top of the stack, or you can clear everything. But with a vector, you can see what's actually that number in the stack. You can see what's that number in the stack. Or you can put something at that number, or you can put something at that number. Whereas the stack itself is just like, it's just here. It's a deck of cards. You can't do anything with it. You can do something with, you can delete the top. You can get rid of the whole thing. But you can't do anything with anything at any specific index. So pretty much everything. I think when I first was working with collections, see, it's a collection. When I was first working with collections, I was working with the stack. And I mean, it is the most elementary one, but the vector you can do a lot more with. I don't know programming wise if the vector takes a lot more processing power than it does a stack, but you do a lot more with a vector than you can with a stack. So, I encourage you to play with both of them, but a vector is pretty cool. So you have the dictionary, global dictionary, stack, vector, queue. I don't know anything about the queue. Global dictionary, I tried to work with that. I was going to use the global dictionary prior to using the StreamWriting and the StreamReading. I thought that would kind of solve my problem. So as I understand, the global dictionary allows you to have information on your one chart and then allow all of your other charts to use that same information on your desktop and your platform. So I still think that it's would be really useful to understand. But I tried playing with it and it was over my head for the time being. So yeah, I mean, that'll be something I get to in the future. But for right now, I was just able to, and actually the StreamWriting and StreamReading worked out a lot better for me. Well, I don't know. Because if I took what was in my StreamWriter in my text file, I wrote stuff to my text file, and when I open it up, use the Stream Reader to store that to a global dictionary, then I should be able to use that across my entire platform. Whereas what I'm doing now is I'm writing to my text file, and on each individual chart, essentially, I'm stream reading and pulling everything into a new dictionary and then using it. So I probably do need to figure out how to use this global dictionary class. But there's two components of the global dictionary class. I forget how it goes, but I feel like it's one of them is storing it into a dictionary, and then the second one is then pulling it back out. It was something. It wasn't. I've been able to do plenty of complex stuff with complex things with TradeStation and easy language, but that was one that I was just like, whoa, it's ridiculous for no reason. And maybe I just don't get it, but I'll get it one day. And I'll share it with you. All right, but so anyway, so we have the vector here, right? All right, so the vector, we already have it here. We have the V swing low. So now what we're going to do is we're going to store these. We're going to store these swing lows into the vector. So we're going to do this a couple ways. So first, we're just going to store them. So we've already initialized it right here. So when this is true, for one, we get a new swing low, right? You see all those? We get a new swing low. So we know that it's working. So what we're going to do now is we're going to push each of those values into the vector. Let's see how we do that. Let's see. V swing low dot push back. What are we pushing back? We're pushing back the value of swing low P. Okay, so now just like that, it took all those values and put them in the vector. You didn't even see it. It was done quick. I love this stuff, man. But so now what we're going to do, just kind of verify that, we're going to say if last bar on chart. So only if we're at the very last bar on the chart. So as soon as it did everything that it wanted to do, we got to the last bar. That's the last bar in the instant. But as soon as we get to that last bar, then and only then are we going to, one time, we're going to print how many elements are in the vector. And that will tell you how many times we found those swing lows. So I'm going to print what? I'm going to print v swing low dot count dot to string open close parentheses that and then that. A lot of this stuff is just stuff I learned along the way, guys. All right, you see here we have 11. So 11 times did we find a swing low. I've already zoomed all the way out. That's zooming all the way in. That's zooming all the way out. Okay, so we go over here. What you doing? What you doing? What are you doing? Okay, there we go. All right, so we're gonna start here. We're gonna move over 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, lost one place. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. All right, so we got 11 times. That's right. So now what we want to do though is, because what happens is you go hit Shift S, change the symbol, whatever. Go to 200 days. Now on the 200 days, now we had 183 swing lows that had approximately 100 bars on either side. We don't want 183 because what we want to do down the road with this program, and I was telling Reg, I was telling him, I said that this is something I wanted to put together in a larger program, but and that's what you kind of want to do, right? You want to have these small programs that you put together in bigger programs, then you have this comprehensive thing that makes you money, right? So you have 183 instances there. We don't want 183 because if we're you have to forgive me, I got lights and stuff out because I'm trying to keep things cool in here. But if you have 183 instances and you're looking at all these levels and you want to see if price is coming back down to one of the last 5 swing lows, then you want to what? You got to get rid of the other 178, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to say swing low dot pushback dot low P. So it's just going to keep adding to the top of the stack. But if the count is equal to 5, so before we add another one to it, if the count is currently equal to 5, let's pop the one at the top, and then we'll put and then this next one goes here. And actually, let me see what the difference, because I don't want to pop the oldest. I want to pop the oldest one. I want to pop the one at the beginning, right? Moves element at the end of the collection. Okay, so again, so this is a stack where it just keeps adding to the top, adding to the top. So if we want the last 5 occurrences, then we really need that 5th one, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. So we need to actually be deleting the 0 index, which if you delete the 0 index, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't shift everything down unless you make a loop statement that moves everything down one. And we're not going to do that. So what we're going to do instead of putting that new element at the top, we're going to put it at the bottom, and then we're going to pop the one at the top. Okay, and this is how we'll do it. So we'll say if v swing low dot count, and if you don't spell something right, then things won't pop up like they're supposed to, so don't be alarmed. If v swing low dot count equals 5, then we got to do v swing low dot pop back. So it's going to pop the last one at the top. You got to open and close those parentheses, and that's about it there. All right, so now that we only have 5, and I think the vector is a 0. Yeah, it's a 0 base index. So it's going to have an element at 0. It's going to have one at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many is that? It's got one at 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we're looking at the 5th index, then we actually need to be we need to go one before it. Let me see here. But we're actually going to go by count. So that's fine. So we're going to have 5 things. So with 5 things being in the vector, it's going to be at the 4th index, because you have one at the 0 index, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. We're going to have 5. It's going to be at the 4th index. There you go. Okay. All right. So now, instead of pushing it to the back, we're going to insert it. We're going to insert it at 0. And the good thing about inserting it is when you insert it, it pushes everything up. You insert it, it pushes up. You insert it, it pushes everything up. So we're going to insert where, what. I think that's all I need to do. So we're going to insert at the 0 index. We're going to insert this number. Boom. No issues. Okay, and you see here, now it did another print. Now it only has 5 in it. So it has the last 5 in it, right? And how do you know what those last 5 are? See, I don't know if I can. See, I think there's a such thing as a new line, then swing low dot. I don't think I can print everything. Maybe. Open, close that. Okay, so this was my attempt to print what was in the vector, and it just printed the vector. It just printed the namespace and the word vector. So let me see, because I've never done that before. I've never printed what's in the vector like that. You can print what's in each individual index like that, but let's see if we can print what's in the vector. So this just accessing an element, accesses the last element, moves the element, the range, accesses the first element, as an element, repeatedly. But I don't see anything that will print the entire vector. Oh, here we go. Display, yeah. So displays that certain element at an index, at the I index to a string. All right, and so this is where those senior programmers, like, they know it. They know how to do this instantly. I don't, but let's see. Should I try this? Let's see. New line. So for x equals 1 to v swing low dot count. What are we going to do? We're going to print what's in the vector at that certain index. The certain index is going to be index of x. For x is 0 to swing low dot count. Minus 1. Swing low to string of x. Dot. We need to print. Yeah, I think I need to print this like that. That, close that. I'm gonna need to close this. What this is, last one try, then we're going to begin this, so we'll allow it to do all these things. Print that, and then come down here, print that. All right. All right, so x hasn't been declared yet, so this is what I was telling you earlier. We'll declare x like right here, and then we'll go back and look later. B swing low P. B swing low. Okay. 2 B swing low. Oh, that goes here. X to string. All right, so this is the vector of the swing low. This is at x index, and then we're making it to a string because that's the only way that you can print it. Is you got to make it into a string. For and then begin end. Hey, all right, your boy is getting good. He's getting better. All right, no fear, baby, no fear. Okay, so now we have all these five values, the last 5 values on the chart, right? So we should have the last 5 values here. 5301, 5270, 75. Let's see what we have here. This is 50. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 5th one here, down here by 5232 or so. Okay, that would be this guy. Okay, so, and then this one, the most recent one, is around 5300, 89. All right, so that's this guy. So the first index in the 0 position is the most recent one. Second, third, fourth, This is the oldest one, and it's holding the 5th position. Perfect. Okay. All right, so we have everything here. All right, so now the only other thing that I wanted to do today was to stream write it. Stream write it to a file. So I'm gonna go over here and just right-clicking on my desktop. I'm going to New, and I'm going to Text Document. Text document. I'm gonna rename it. Swing low. I'm gonna name it V Swing Low. Of course, it would go onto my desktop. All right, hang on. Let me see if I can get this from my desktop. All right, yeah, there we go. Okay, so there's the swing low there. I'm just going to right click it, and then I'll hit copy as path. Come back here. All right. Did I lose my... What? How did I close? Okay. Glad it kind of like auto saves or something. All right, so I don't need this print statement anymore. I don't need any of this. So we're just going to put that in, what do they call it? Squiggly brackets or something like that. Okay, so now we need the stream writer. All right, but you saw though that there was nothing in the, saw that there was nothing in this guy here. There's nothing there. All right. We're gonna come back here. All right, so we need to do stream writer, and like I said, I think IO is for the stream writer. I have a feeling that it's TS data common also. I think it's tsdata.common also. Or I think that's plays a role. All right, so let's do, and what I do is I just call stream writer, SRD, SWD, and then stream reader, SRD. All right, but we're not going to do the reading right now. We're just going to do the writing. So we'll do stream. Yeah. So you see how it comes up there? You see how as I started typing it came up? All right, so we're going to get rid of that. And then we're just going to comment this out. This also help let you know what you need. All right, so stream still comes up. Like I said, I think earlier I had it right. It was .io. See, now when I'm typing it up, it doesn't populate. So I mean, coding and programming is hard enough by itself, but the programs really, I mean, there's enough going on in the programs that it assists you into getting to where you want to go if you use it. Like I say, and even like being a therapist and that kind of thing, not all of it is knowing it boom right off the top of your head. A lot of it is that and familiarity, but then it's also knowing the resource to go to be able to find it quickly. Right? So let's see, stream writer, and then we're going to call this one SWD. SWD. This is null. That. All right. And then again, now like I said, full disclosure, the stream writing and stream reading, I've been able to accomplish this once or twice or so, something like that. I've been playing with it over the last couple weeks with different indicators, pulling my data, moving, but I haven't really replicated the entirety of StreamWriting and StreamReader. So I'm pretty familiar with it, but I'm going to fumble through this a little bit. Okay, so when we get these new values here, we're not going to only keep the last 5. Now we could do that using a for loop, but we're not going to do that right now. I might do it. As part 2. I don't know. Because again, this is strength for me. This is making me stronger. But as far as you guys just want to kind of see some of the basics, some of the syntax and concepts. Let's just keep it basic right now. So when you get a new swing low, you want to write to the text file. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll say once. So at the beginning of the initialization, we're just going to go ahead and swd equals stream writer dot create. What's the path name? We already got it. Remember, we created it and then I did copy as path. Boom, that's it. Okay, put that on there. Yeah, and Reg was asking about the OneDrive. I didn't intentionally have my stuff on OneDrive. You know how it is when you buy new stuff and the marketing and everything. They put a bunch of stuff on your computer and then it's kind of hard to get away from it unless you take the time. So that's how I got to OneDrive. I'm not having any issues with my programs or anything like that with it being on OneDrive. But I have wondered before though, if it makes it a little bit slower to pull the data. And I don't even know the stuff that's on OneDrive. I don't know. I imagine that what I have on the OneDrive is also saved to my desktop, so that makes it quicker, but it's still stored and uploaded, synced to the cloud. So I don't think it's fully on the cloud, but yeah, so that's just an aside there. All right, so once we're initializing that StreamWriter there, okay, and so after we initialize it, I know that what we have to do is, in order to write to a file, we have to have the file name, put it in there, we have that. And what we write to the file cannot be a number, it has to be a string. It has to be a string. So you can do like num, watch this, num to string, you can do that. So you can take it from that number and move it to a string. So let's do S. So after we've done all this fancy stuff, we've put our arrow in there, we've done all this fancy stuff, we put it into a vector, which we don't necessarily need for this portion of the string writing because we're not writing them to the text file as a vector in a linear path like the last 5. But like I said, that'd be something that I would like to do just to improve my skills there. Feels like the AC came on. It's good. All right. Let's do swd dot. I think it's right line. swd dot write to file or write line. There it is, write line. Well, I just hit it and it didn't do it. All right, so write line. Now it could be parentheses. It is. It's parentheses. And like I said, man, some of the times you'll find this same type setup, the same type parameter. Instead of using parentheses, you'll hit equals, and then you'll put your string there. Whereas with StreamWriter, StreamWriter, it's a parentheses. So you don't, it's a hit or miss, and some of it is just knowing the functions, and then the other part of it is just going here, right click it in definition, and then letting it bring it up, and then it'll kind of show you what you want to do. So see here, you have the variable, you have the StreamWriter, my file, null, right? And then my file equals StreamWriter.create. I already did that, did the .create. Now you did the right line, and you want to put whatever's on the line, and then you can do that a couple times if you want to, and then you want to close it. That's pretty much it. So that's it in a nutshell. So we're about to do that here now. It gave us a few options though. Double value. Huh. Now I thought that you had to put it into a string in order to write it. It doesn't look like it. It looks like it'll take it as a, see there, as a double. It looks like it'll take it as a double. Writes the text representation. Value followed by a line terminated. It'll take true, false. Okay, well, there you go. All right, so instead of doing number to string, we're just going to put in the value. What was the value that we want to store? We want to store that swing low P, swing low price, right? Boom. And then close, swd.close. Parentheses. Okay, so I'm getting an error over here, but StreamWriter is closed. So what happened was we did this. We ran the program. We came down. We put something into the StreamWriter. We put it into the text file, and then we closed the program. But we didn't We didn't open it back up because here we have once. So I guess we just have to open it every time, which, I mean, makes sense, but there should be. I think there's a load. There's a load for the stream reader. When you're getting ready to read something, you have to get the book. You got to load it. All right, so we got load there, but for this one, I don't think there's a load. And I don't know how else other than just keeping it open all the time, which what we could do is we just take this out of here. And then I guess that's essentially the load. Just creating that every time. Boom, let's try it. All right, come back here. Let's turn that back on. Nope. All right, so path includes an incorrect or invalid. All right, that's our swing low there. I just opened it back up. All right. I'm gonna comment this one out. Maybe it's opening it here, and then when it comes down and actually finds a swing low, it's trying to open it again. Well, there is this thing with TradeStation, whereas if you already have the file open somewhere, you will get this kind of an error. If you already have it open, you'll get this kind of an error. You always have to be sure that you do close your files when you're not using them. You know, in the same way as like if I come over here and I double click this and I open it, or if I open Excel or Word or something like that, I can't then, like, you know, if you have a file open and you try to delete the file, you can't delete the file because the file is open. It's the same thing. So let's see if that was our problem. All right, so we muted this one out. So whenever it comes down in here, it's gonna open it, it's gonna write it, and then it's gonna close it. It's either open, write, and closing, or it's nothing. All right, so let's see if we turn it back on. All right, so we turn it back on. No errors. I think that was the issue. Now we go back over here, double click the text file. Did the text file, and so then we did get a value here. But we should have more than one value. We got that first one, 5301, right? And that's not even the first one. That's the last one of the. Oh, wait a minute. Did we change the? That's certainly not the first one, 5301. It's not the first one. So, you know what? I feel like it overwrote. I feel like that's what it did. It did not append, right? So if you look at one of my files here, there's one of my files for my master token list that I have everything. I have the date, time, ticker, interval, bid ask data, spread. I've got everything on here, right? But you see, from 321 we got data. Come down, got data 322, 324. So I'm appending every step along the way. So you can run this, you can set this up so where it essentially just overwrites your file every time it runs, every time it opens. And that's what it's doing here. So what we needed to do is we needed to, I forget, there's a thing, I think after you do create, you can hit comma and you can hit true, I think. And it'll append. Let's see. Let's go here. Methods. Yeah, you see path creates path name and then append. If you have it as true, then when you come in here and you have the next iteration of using the StreamWriter and you have append set as true, it'll just add to it. It won't erase and record over, it'll add to it. So now we should go back and we should have all of the one. Whoa. Yeah, so look at all these data points. So we got the 5301, and this is the one that we had earlier, right? That's the one that we had from that first time we ran it. And so then after that, we went back to the beginning of the file and we started finding all these swing lows, right? So the first one would be 45, 47, 25, 45, 47, 25. Go back to the very first one, 45, 47. Yeah, that's the 25 area. Okay. Very good. So again, that is how you do that. Now, the only other thing that I'd want to do with this, and I could essentially just use this. I would just be curious to record the last 5 swing lows at any given point and not just the current one. So we're already storing stuff in the vector. We're done recording the newest iteration into the vector. So now we get the StreamWriter create. We're gonna do what are we gonna write? We're gonna write now if you had a lot of indexes in the vector, you want to do this a different way. You want to do this with with something like that. Right now, we can say, what are we going to write? We're going to write the swing low of what index? 0. And then I think we need to put a plus and then a comma, a space, and then another plus. And then we're going to copy this. We're going to paste it. Wait a minute. We're going to copy this. And we're going to paste it. Paste it. That's first, second, third, fourth, fifth. All right, so this would be the fourth index, which remember is the fifth element. So third, the second. Like I said, you could do this as a loop. We'll get rid of this at the end. Okay, swing low. So this is just taking what was in our stack. It's just going to write them out and put commas in between. It did not like that. I think I need to make this as a string and then put it in. That's right. Okay. In my other master token, like I said, one of the things I was getting from Mark Plex is he would write it into, he would say that as a string. I think I probably see another problem with it, but that's fine. Because he would write all this to a string and then write the string to the line. But I'm trying to do it, kind of at one time, which is fine with the other one, because you don't have to record. A string is not the only thing that you can record to write line. You can also record booleans, doubles, integers, everything. All right, but I think what the problem is that I'm mixing things, right? So I'm mixing a string with a number. So I'm curious if I turn this into number to string, and then I'm going to have 2 decimal points. If that's all I have to do to satisfy that change. All right, so again, there's going to be 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so now they're all the same type, right? So you don't have a mixed bag here. You have you got a string, 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 string. Number to string. Well, that is a number. Macro expressions. All right, let's try this. Cut that, and then record line is equal to that. What did I do? Record line is equal to that. That's going to be a string, so I need to come back up here, have a new record line, and it's going to be a string. And now, write line, what we're going to record to the StreamWriter is what? Record line. Doing way too much up here. All right, try that. Still didn't like it. Number to string. You know what? Does it want to be? I feel like All right, come on. What's going on with my indexes? Number to string. I feel like this is not a number. You know what? It is a number. Items index. Number to string. V swing load the index. Now I can tell you, this is one of the things I do like to kind of like debug and kind of figure things out along the way. So we know that the number has, so let's put a number there. There's a number. Okay, so when we actually put that number there, it was 5. All right, so what I'll do here is I'll do as type double, which I think it already knows that, but it didn't. All right, so this is one of the things that kind of happens some of the times is whenever you're using dictionaries and vectors and stuff like that, is when you put it into the vector, you can put it in however you want to. I don't think you have to put it in as type. You know what? Let me see. When you take it out of the vector of the dictionary, you need to qualify what type of variable it is, or it's going to be. Is it a string? Is it a double? Is it an integer? But when you put it when you assign it into the vector as a number, it's a number going into the vector. Why wouldn't it just automatically still be a number while it's in the vector, even when you take it out? I guess that's kind of cool that you can take it out and make it anything you want it to be, but you would think inherently when it comes out, it'll be at least what it was when you first put it in. If you want to change it, that's fine. But let's see if we can insert it as type, whatever. Nah, see, it didn't let us do that. So when you take it out, you definitely have to qualify what type of variable it is. So this is a double. So probably what we did before would have worked just fine. Just needed to qualify it as a double. All right. Am I getting rid of all my good stuff here? All right, so no errors, except here we get that the vector is empty or invalid index. That's because on our first iteration of running this thing, we might only have one variable in this index, right? We might only have one element in that vector. But we're asking for it to give us the last 5. Well, it can't give you 5 because it only has something in 1. And instead of it giving you 0, it's like, no, there's nothing there. Because 0 is a number. 0 is an element. 0 is, identifiable. So you need to only record to this line if you have at least 5 items in your vector. So we're going to say if vSwing load.count equals 5, then begin. We're going to do all these things. And then we're going to end it. And that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. All right, let's open it back up. This will seal the deal. Boom, that looks good. We don't have any other errors here. So now when we open up Swing Low, we should have a list of 5 things. So to the bottom, look at that, list of 5. 5 things in our vector, okay? So, and maybe we'll do this on another video where we do a stream reader to read this information, pull it out of the chart, and then do something else with it, right? Because it's good to have this information, but like I said, for what I want to do with my stuff, I want to then pull this information back out of that text file and do something with it on the chart. Now, you could also take this information and send it right over to Microsoft Excel. Maybe that needs to be the next one I do. Using elsystem.excel. It is Excel, I'm pretty sure. .office. I think it's that. This would be spread. Nope, it's not that, because it would be spreadsheet. Using TS. Maybe that's the common one. Nope. It's not Office. It was Excel. There's something with Excel. Oh, maybe it's office.excel. Yeah, there we go. Office.excel. Boom. Okay, so now you type in spreadsheet. Or maybe it's worksheet. Workbook. Okay, and then we're going to call the workbook file to save. We'll make that null. Okay, and then so also once we get that going, we're going to say once. We're going to say file to save equals workbook.create. Maybe it wants that. Okay. All right. Now you have to do a couple more things here. You have to say file to save. You have to load the book. Load equals true, but you have to say what the file is. File name. I think you just do it equals there. Okay, so we're gonna make I have a file which I call rando. Because when I started it out, it was called rando. Because it was just random. All right, so we're gonna do on rando. Let's see, on sheet 1, it's got stuff. Sheet 2, we'll just clear this one. Okay, so sheet 2, which is essentially the 1, 2, 3rd sheet in the on the workbook. But what's the file name? File path name. Info. Copy path. All right, but that's got to be in parentheses, guys. You know that. Come on, guys. You know that. All right, that. And then which file is it? Which sheet? Not sheet count. Sheet count is going to tell you how many sheets are on the are in the entire deal, or in the entire workbook. Active sheet. I think that's where you put the 3rd one. verify that. No issues there. Okay. So now this one is going to be a little bit different. And you would use loops and everything here, but let's just do something very basic. We'll say file to save dot. All right, my headset is about to give out, so I know I'm done with this thing. Now I forget how you add to it. File to s dot. I think it's sales as string maybe. Just click on that, right click it, come over here. Yeah, see, you got the workbook sheets. That sheets sells as string, and then you have the column and the row, and then you have what you want. So workbook sheets. I don't think that's how I wrote it earlier. No, that's not how I wrote it earlier. Yeah, maybe. File to s dot sheets. Okay, yeah, that's the one that was nefariously just staring at me. Sheets. That's what sheets is for. Sheets is the third one, and we're gonna come here and we do sales as string, and then we'll put it equal to Eric. Can't even spell my name. Eric is the man. I got a feeling that's not gonna go right. Primarily because I don't have. I was supposed to put it here. It's gonna be on the. Let's put on the 10th column on the first row. Boom. All right, so now we're going to open Rando back up. All right, so we run this thing. Open Rando back up. All right, now that Rando is open, go to the third one, sheets. Well, it didn't do anything for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that. I already said we need to get rid of that. Save that. What do I got here? Eagle view. Okay, third one. Okay, how come we're not writing to Excel? So string 10th column, first row. Got the string, that is a string, file to sheets. And we went ahead and loaded everything up here. We got the file name, loaded it, true, active sheet, 3. Oh, we gotta, well, one, we have to save on close. Because if you don't save it, then, you know, what's the point of doing it? Save. I thought it was save on close. There you go, save on close. It's true. So I ran that. That's good, no errors. All right, let's open Rando back up. All right, still did not appear though, so there's got to be something simple. I know there's something simple. All right, so sheets, that, all that's right. Offside Excel, yep. Load, Yeah, we loaded it. We put the file name. We loaded it. It's just the index number of the active worksheet. Did I need to do that? Did I do that? Active sheet? I don't think I did active sheet. I did. Active sheet is third index. That's right. File name loaded. Active sheet is 3. Did file 2 on the third sheet. Sales as string. 10. Let's try this as a double. But this is the basic concept. So once you get this, you're good. All right, so we're gonna do sales as double. Just gonna make it be 15. All right. Open rando. Yeah, still nothing right in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. J. Nothing. Now, one of the things that I've been seeing and I've played around with it before is visible. So I don't know if that's the problem or not, but I wouldn't think it would be. Which just means that when it's actually doing any work, it will show the chart. So when it's doing any work on the chart, it'll pull the chart up. It'll pull the Excel spreadsheet up so you can see it on your computer. If you don't have visible, then it'll just kind of work in the background. All right, so I hit refresh on that, and still nothing. All right, come on. This is the last thing, baby. 2 hours, man. It feels like back on 20 minutes. You know what do they say? That's when you're in your zone. When you're in your flow. When you're in your flow, it's like time just stands still. This is my flow, man. Programming is my flow. Hopefully, it'll transition to profitable trading. And if it doesn't, you know, I'm actually okay with that. Well, I mean, you have to be, right? But no, yeah, I'm okay with that. I do like coding though. All right, but right now, and I don't want to look at the cheat sheet. I don't want to look at my other script. Sheets index. It's one base, right? 3. Save on close. Load. Either that or it's just not. I mean, this should be happening like 100 times or 1,000 times because this is going to be happening for every single bar. So it should be happening frequently enough to where it's legitimately saving. Did we create it? Yeah, we did. We created it. Let's try this. Instead of doing workbook.create, let's do new workbook. Like I said, it allows you to do it several ways. So let's try it that way. Then open it. All right, still nothing. Just make sure that it's not showing up on one of these other. It's not showing up there. Didn't show up on the second worksheet. Didn't show up on the third worksheet. Oh. Didn't show up on the fourth worksheet. Unless for some reason the path name isn't right, maybe. All right, so now I'm going to go to the other one and I'm just going to see what I have. Tell you what, before I do that, let's go here and one more time we're going to hit local path. Copy local path. Yeah, that's what I thought. Once we're going to do a new workbook. File name is this. We're going to load it. Yes. The worksheet is going to be the third worksheet. Do I need to do all that stuff once? Maybe. Once. Begin. I shouldn't think that it's an issue, but for kicks and giggles, we're just loading all that stuff one time. Even with one time loaded, still nothing. Eesh. Let's say if time, I don't know, if last bar on chart, then if it's the last bar on the chart, then we're going to do these things. Nada. Sales as double. All right, I'm gonna get this active sheet out of here. Comment that out. No change, no change, no change. All right, instead of putting it on the 10th column, let's put it at the first column. No change, no change. What in the world? All right, so now I'm going to the cheat sheet. I don't even know what this. It should be under print something. Print to file V2. That's my best one. Office Excel, EL system. Yep. Print, false, dot. Worksheet. Sheets. Got the index of the worksheet. Sales as string. That's fine. I mean, that's just what it is. Target option. Man, this is amazing. Yeah, so here I did it as sales. Here I did it as sales. I didn't do it as sales as string. So, but that's the same way I did over here too. Sales, sheets, 3, sales, 15. took me a while to put this together, but I'm impressed by it. However, I don't need to print this anymore either. Once begin bar type, starting the buttons, the controls show. What? Okay, so I got my new workbook here. All right, so I got my new workbook. I did the file name, I did the load, I did do the active sheet. It's 4. Save on close is true, and then that's visible. I did all that once, and then I went and then I made my I wrote to Excel. Other than me doing it, and the only thing that would be different was if I put this up here with the once. So I'm gonna cut that, and then where I did this once stuff up here, I put the visible up here, save on close there. That's the only difference. All right, so now I just verified it. All right, still nothing. Close that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna refresh this. Maybe because it's not the last bar on the chart anymore. Yeah, for some reason it doesn't seem like my chart is refreshing anymore. So maybe that's the problem. Yeah, well, okay. All right. You know what? My TradeStation is froze. So it might be, it could be froze because it's trying to do something, and turns out it's running into an infinite loop and it's getting stuck. That would be sad. But it should have given me an error by now. At this point, it should have told me that it's running to infinite loop. So now the only thing to do is to wait till it gets done doing whatever it's going to do, and then I can go back to it. What the? Yeah, because I knew I had this thing right. Got me over here losing my mind. All right, well, but again, I can't move forward with this until you see the see the circle there. Yeah, it's still processing, doing something. Well, I mean, I want to wait to show you. However, I mean, it's like watching paint dry. I mean, I don't know if it's going to dry. I don't know if it's got a wet underbelly. I don't know if it's latex on top of oil. I mean, I don't know if it's going to dry. I just don't know if it's going to dry. However, I'm pretty certain that what I got what I put together works, and we accomplish everything that we planned to accomplish anyway. We found swing lows. We labeled them with first a cross, and then we went and labeled them with an arrow, and then we went and we added them to a vector. We printed out what was on the vector so we could show you that it is adding to the vector that gets to be a large number. We went and then we filtered the number within the vector so that we could only have a finite number. Now you could take that number, instead of it being 5, you could say make that number limit, limit, and then have an input of limit, and then you can change that on the fly. So now we have a limit of how many swing lows we have in the vector. And then we printed that out, so you could print that using your program, and you can print that on each individual line for the print screen. Then we went and we added that using the StreamWriter. We added it to a text file, a TXT file. We added it as a we added it in a string format, so it's in the line. It's on the same line instead of sequential lines. Remembering that you have to enable the append feature, otherwise you're going to keep overwriting what's on your file. You may want to do that, I don't know. But if you just want to keep adding to what's on your file, you need to allow for append. And then now, just for kicks and giggles, like I said, I think it's one of the ones that kind of Reg was interested in. Was also maybe saving some of that data to Excel. Last thing for kicks and giggles, we're just gonna show you how to quickly add something to Excel. So since TradeStation is froze up doing something at this point, we're just gonna make that another video. I don't wanna waste any of your time. Besides, like I said, it's been like 2.5, 3 hours. I gotta get off here, man. I gotta find out what the family is doing. 2 hours. Yeah. But it's been a good 2 hours. So guys, I hope you got something out of it. I hope the audio ended up being good too, because yeah, I think it's pretty good. All right, guys. This is me. Happy Easter. I'm Eric. I'm out. Hey.